It is so rare we get the exact origins for a mythical Pokemon. Diancie, a mutated Carbink. But what exactly does it have to do with Mega Evolution? Why does it look like the Mega Power Spots that appear all across Lumio City? And what's the deal with the Anistar City Sundial? Weirdly enough, over the last 4 generations, we've actually had a lot of nods towards both Diancie and Carbink. And as the lore has grown and grown and grown, I have compiled it all here for the ultimate Diancie lore video. And I've had good reason to look into gemstones recently. Recently got engaged with Cuppa Fee. More on that a little bit later on.
His name is Ganon, and he's a handsome boy. He's got his handsome ways. He's gonna get played.
Diancie and Carbink. They are both rock fairy type Pokemon. Diancie, of course, being a mythical introduced in the Kalos region and the first to be able to Mega Evolve. Not just the first mythical Pokemon, but the first Kalosian Pokemon at all. According to its Pokedex entries, it is made of diamonds. A sudden transformation of Carbink. Its pink glimmering body is said to be the loveliest sight in the whole world. It can instantly create many diamonds by compressing the carbon in the air between its hands, and in its Mega Evolution state, this Pokemon is known as the Royal Pink Princess. The dazzling, sparkling diamond on its forehead is a whopping 2,000 carats. Oh, so close to saying the word 3,000, it would really tie in with the lore. A sudden transformation of Carbink, a Pokemon that, in my mind, is actually way more interesting than Diancie, just not necessarily to look at. Oh, that felt rude. Some say that deep beneath the surface of the world, a pack of Carbink live with their queen in a kingdom of jewels. It fires beams from the stone in its head, and it has slept underground for hundreds of millions of years, possibly making Carbink the oldest Pokemon to exist at all, outside of maybe like Arceus or other legendary Pokemon. Living deep underground in a kingdom of jewels, maybe the oldest Pokemon? Not only that, but Carbink shows up in some pretty interesting places you wouldn't really expect. First of all, you can find it next to the ultimate weapon in Reflection Cave, a mysterious place that, well, in the anime at least, seems to have portals to other dimensions, possibly a bypassing effect of being so close to the place where the ultimate weapon is buried. In Pokemon Sun and Moon, Carbink can be found in 10 Carat Hill, the place where Necrozma is resting. In the Crown Tundra of Pokemon Sword and Shield, you can find Carbink floating around, a place overflowing with Gigantamax energy as a result of the giant wishing star at the heart of the Max Raid lair. And then finally in Scarlet and Violet, you can find Carbink floating around the crystal pool at the top of the Oni Mountain, a place covered in terra crystals. You can also find it in the depthiest chambers of Area 0. There are very few Pokemon that exist down there, aside from Glimmet and Glimora, which is another topic and another very interesting similar Pokemon. I wonder if they might be related. Anyway, back to Carbink. It seems to be the case that Carbink is attracted to, or perhaps created by, mass amounts of energy. And these energies, the energy that comes from Necrozma, the energy of Mega Evolution, Gigantamax energy, and of course Terra energy, I've theorized many times on the channel before in the Arceus theory video, which you absolutely should check out if you haven't already. It's mandatory homework at this point for this channel. If you haven't seen that, it connects everything. But effectively, all the energies of the Pokemon world, all of these phenomenons that seem to be parts of the bodies of local dragon deities in the Pokemon world, well, they all have a very similar trait. They all seem to come from the same place ultimately. It's the life energy of all living things. So perhaps Carbink is particularly attracted to this, or perhaps it's the Earth itself reacting to this energy coming to life in little chunks of ore. It's said that it's formed in incredible temperatures and under pressure, deep underground, and it would make sense how this Pokemon would then be possibly the oldest Pokemon at hundreds of millions of years old. Not related to other biological Pokemon life, instead it's the Pokemon world come to life, manifest as a result of this energy. But clearly it's more connected to Mega Evolution than anything else. We need only look to Diancie and the Mega Power crystals, the shards that are scattered all across Lumio City. We learn in the game that these areas, these spots of these shards, are as the result of Mega Power building up underneath Lumio City and then sort of emerging from the ground. So again, it's crystals that are unnaturally forming, and from these, you can break them down with your Pokemon and gain Mega Shards. And breaking them down fills up your Mega Meter, so it gives off the same life energy, allowing your Pokemon to Mega Evolve. As a side note, I use this to Mega Evolve my shiny Sableye that I caught while playing ZA, and Sableye actually is the natural predator of Carbink, and is relevant to this video because, once again, speaking of jewels and just bragging about it again, I got engaged to Copperfee recently, and my engagement ring looks like a Mega Sableye, so I got very lucky to find one in my playthrough. Anyway, right, back to the topic at hand. These Mega Shards can be then traded in at Quasartico Inc., who have been developing various Mega Stones, or have located or worked out how to construct Mega Stones from these Mega Shards. So Mega Shards are wanted and a valuable commodity across Lumio City in the modern day. In fact, on some of the rooftops where this Mega power is clustering and building up, Carbink can be seen suspiciously floating around. Then, of course, we have the Diancie event, now in Pokemon Legends ZA. After approaching Emma with the Diancie, her Mimi reacts very oddly to it. There's a telepathic connection, sensing almost the emotions from within the Mega Stone. The Mega Stones have a great amount of life energy in them. The leading thought from Professor Sycamore is that 3,000 years ago when the Ultimate Weapon fired, Evolution Stones had a sort of overwhelming of this energy. It became Mega Stones. We don't know if that's true. We also know that the Mega Shards that you can collect, you can give to Quasartico Inc., who are developing or engineering ways of making these Mega Stones, at least making them reproducible. But the actual Mega Stones themselves do come from the Pokemon. We see this from Rogue Mega Evolution, where the energy builds up within them. Anyway, you find the rooftop with much of this Mega power kind of forming on top of the building. And there are 2 Carbinks and a Diancie. But here's the question. If we had arrived just a little bit earlier, would we have found 3 Carbinks? Is it possible that the results of maybe even the plot of the game, with Ange firing into the sky and Zygarde attacking it with Naya Light, is it possible that something to do with that caused the sudden transformation of Carbink into Diancie? Or is this what all Carbink do? They come searching for these stones to kind of ingest as much of this energy as they can. It's how they feed, with the hope that one day, after hundreds of millions of years, they might get to transform. We will get to that, but we have to look at a couple of other pink crystals first. In the anime, there is a stone called Laquium, and Laquium seems to, well, overwhelm a Pokemon with great energy, making them more powerful and sometimes rageful. It's a little bit like the transformation of Mega Evolution. Then there's the Anistar City Sundial. Of course, how can I not mention it? In Anistar City, there is this giant formation of pink crystal. The map description says that people think it may have come from space, which could be true. Perhaps it was a meteorite that was flying past the planet that ultimately the Ultimate Weapon collided with 3,000 years ago, the beam bringing it down to Earth. Or perhaps it's a giant gemstone, as many of the onlookers think. A gemstone created by the powers of a legendary, or in this case, mythical Pokemon. People do know about Diancie. There's a portrait of Diancie hanging out in the Lumiose Museum. She's the girl with the diamond earring. So maybe it is the result of a meteorite, or maybe it's the result of a Pokemon's creation. We're not 100% sure, but perhaps even the Pokemon itself, perhaps Diancie is a meteorite. If Carbink represents bits of ore brought to life by the life energy of the Pokemon planet, well, what's to say that other astrological bodies in the Pokemon world don't have that same thing going on? Perhaps a passing meteorite with a Carbink hit by the Ultimate Weapon or not ultimately landed as Diancie or the Anistar City Sundial. There's a lot here open to interpretation, but there are a couple theories that I really, really like. We know that the Anistar City Sundial has something to do with Mega Evolution. If you go there with Professor Sycamore, having gotten to the post-game of Pokemon X and Y, and interact with it with your Mega Ring, then suddenly Mega Evolution Stones become more detectable across the region. So interacting with this giant pink crystal that looks like Diancie allows you to locate the stones. And well, didn't we just say that in Pokemon Legends EA, it was by interacting with the Mega Stone we were able to locate the Diancie. It does not matter whether Carbink appears in other areas of the Pokemon world, is connected to other phenomenons. Clearly, there is just more of a focus on Mega Evolution with it than any other phenomenon. But I want to think about that for a moment. Captain Fidget, a friend of mine, a friend of the channel's, he made a video a long time ago talking about terrestrial energy. It's very interesting to think that Carbink down in the oldest areas of Area Zero, right in the Underdepths, that they are attracted to the same kind of energy that is appearing atop the buildings of Lumio City. They're looking for the same kind of thing. Because terrestrial energy, it transforms Pokemon by giving them crowns. Crowns that, in the normal type in particular, is a giant diamond, which is exactly what Diancie is. Also deep underground in the animated series, Diancie creates a diamond called the Heart Diamond, and this diamond is sort of responsible for the flow of fairy energy in the Pokemon world. Because while yes, fairy energy, unlike Gigantamax or Terra Energy or Z Crystals or Mega Evolution is just a type, we do know that there are crystallized forms of type energy. Dragon energy is a big part of the lore of the Unova region, and crystallized dragon energy is what Regidrago was formed from. In the movie, it's this very energy, this aura, that helps Xerneas keep balance in the region against Yveltal by keeping the flow of life energy kind of equal. It helps with the balance of everything. And Xerneas, of course, is a Pokemon used to fuel the ultimate weapon 3,000 years ago, so it all ties together here. But I have another thought. What if the ultimate weapon is itself Carbink? Really think about it. I gave you the detail earlier. Carbink defends itself by shooting beams of energy from the crystal jewel on its head. Beams of energy. And the ultimate weapon is made of what exactly? Looks like gemstone to me. And not only that, where is it buried? Where was it placed in the beginning? Well, right next to Reflection Cave, the only place in Kalos up until Pokemon Legends CA where Carbink could be found at all. And Carbink being the oldest Pokemon, well, it's the oldest resource for a king of Kalos 3,000 years ago to use. If Diancie is the result of the ultimate weapon firing, it's interesting that they chose to live in communities of royalty, because that's what AZ was. He was royalty. But that's more speculation. That's just like a little side connection. Still, if the ultimate weapon was developed as the result of using Carbink as the resource, well, not only is that very, very dark and sounds very much like something AZ would have done 3,000 years ago, it also explains why it only seems to resonate and transform in the presence of Mega Evolution energy. It's still attracted to the other energy types and appears in places where, again, Necrozma, Eternatus, Terrapagos, you know, the Pokemon responsible for the transformations of the region, or at least the meteorites that came from those Pokemon, it's attracted to all of those energy sources, but it's Mega Evolution that it can transform from. Still, it'd be fascinating to think about what a Carbink affected by terrestrial energy could become. But then again, maybe that's what Glamora is. I don't know, that's a theory for another time. Still, there is one more theory that I find really, really interesting, but I have to bring up my engagement to Cupafee one more time. I love her ring, I love our rings, and I love the gemstones within them. And of course, we're now, as a result, getting engaged onto the, well, look, we need to try and afford a wedding phase of our life, though we'd probably rather get our forever home first. Anyway, all of that being said, me and Cupafee have been working together for months and months and months on a brand new poster. You know her work from the Tree of Evolution, but welcome to the City of Lights, where there is so much to see, including me, Phoebe, and Ganon, and Diancie is even somewhere there in the city. This is all part of the launch of StorekeeperToby.com, my brand new project with the new City of Light A1 glow-in-the-dark poster. Yeah, you heard right. The City of Light is a fantastic poster designed by my lovely fiance, Cupafee. You can actually spot us in the City of Light, as well as a number of other hidden details and mysteries. And if you turn out the light, there are 100 cells hidden across the city that are, yes,
glow in the dark.
It's not just a poster, there's also incredible new caps that we are arguing over, red versus blue, the coin of shadows and purity, and a special GS notebook you might have seen in my videos recently. There's even some hidden secrets in the item descriptions themselves. This was made for you, a lover of hidden secrets and hidden details. There's also a limited time product, so head on over to StorekeeperToby.com today, linked in the description, to support the channel and support your own love of this kind of thing.
My little boy, I just need to film one more Pokemon theory and then to bed.
Thanks for checking out Storekeeper Toby, and let's get back to the theory. And this last little theory to do with Diancie I think is so interesting, and it's actually one that Hybrid Hero came up with years ago. Let's take a look at another mythical Pokemon. Not from the Kalos region though, but actually from Alola, though often forgotten because it sort of came out between the two games. I'm talking of course about Magearna. These Pokemon are both fairy types, released but a generation apart, with their eyes looking so similar. On top of that, just design-wise, it seems that there's a lot that's being taken from one another, but if there's any doubt, Magearna very clearly is involved with the Mega Evolution phenomenon, despite being an Alolan mythical Pokemon. This is because, at its core, it has a little red and blue orb. And I should evoke some Mega Evolution lore for you right away, but I actually think it's a reference to Xerneas and Yveltal. This is the Soul Heart. And again, earlier on, the thing that Diancie makes is the Heart Diamond, or Holy Diamond in Japan. Holy, Soul, Heart, Diamond, Orb. The Soul Heart. This is the source of Magearna's life energy. And apparently it was created in some kingdom years ago, the Azoth kingdom in the anime at least. And Azoth is a very important word, again, in the lore of Mega Evolution. Project Azoth was the goals of Team Aqua and Magma to restore the primal power to Groudon and Kyogre. And on top of that, it may well be where AZ gets his name from. There are just so many connections between these Pokemon. Who would want to create Magearna and why to replicate Diancie? Well, it might again have something to do with its origins connected to the ultimate weapon. For Magearna's main move is Fleur Cannon. Now, where have you seen that weapon before? I want to say an incredible thank you for 290,000 subscribers. We're well on to the big 300k. And thank you to everyone supporting this channel on Patreon or as a YouTube member.